Aubrey O'Day is not backing down. In fact, she's come back with more revelations. And this time, she's got receipts that Diddy manipulated her and the other girls of Danity Kane. For years, Aubrey has been vocal about her experiences with Diddy, but now she's got backup from her former group member, Dawn Richards. Together, they are determined to reveal the truth about what really happened behind the scenes. It turns out that the story is much deeper than anyone expected, and it's about more than just music. Dawn has even gone as far as to file a lawsuit accusing Diddy of some shocking misconduct, including claims of sexual assault, food and sleep deprivation, and withholding payment. Dawn's accusations don't stop there. She alleges that Diddy physically abused Kim Porter and Cassie, and even threatened her life when she tried to intervene. To understand how we got here, let's rewind to the formation of Danity Kane. For those unfamiliar, Danity Kane was a girl group that Diddy put together on the MTV show Making the Band. Along with Aubrey and Dawn, the group consisted of Andrea D. Woods, Shannon Bex, and Andrea Fimbres. They signed to Diddy's Bad Boy Entertainment, and, at first glance, it seemed like a dream come true. The girls were ecstatic. They had their big break. But it didn't take long for them to realize the nightmare they had walked into. From the start, Diddy exercised an extreme amount of control over the group. While they may have been signed to a record deal, the reality of their situation was far from glamorous. According to Aubrey, Diddy pitted the group members against each other, creating tension and mistrust within the group. This manipulation allowed him to maintain control and ensure that none of them would challenge his authority. During a time when the music industry was run by gatekeepers like Diddy, artists, especially young women, had little to no protection. Aubrey has repeatedly stated that Diddy would belittle and body shame them constantly, making derogatory comments about their weight and appearance. He treated them like puppets, deciding everything from their hairstyle to their wardrobe. In one infamous encounter captured on camera, Aubrey confronts Diddy during a recording session. He criticizes her for wearing too much makeup and having big hair, implying that she wasn't focused on the group's image. Aubrey, however, stood her ground. She calmly explained that she was willing to be flexible with her appearance, but emphasized that her role was to sing, not to conform to Diddy's idealized version of beauty. Aubrey was the only one brave enough to consistently stand up to Diddy, and for that, she became a target. She wasn't just criticized for her looks, but Diddy also questioned her worth in the group. He'd make comments suggesting she wasn't hot anymore, and that she lacked curves, an objectifying and demeaning attitude that was not uncommon for him. Aubrey claims that there was no #MeToo movement back then, and that the contracts they signed took away their rights, leaving them powerless. But the worst part, according to Aubrey, was the way Diddy would try to coerce the girls into inappropriate situations. She alleges that Diddy would pressure the girls to engage in sexually suggestive activities against their will, all while verbally and emotionally mistreating them if they resisted. Former Bad Boy bodyguard Gene Deal confirmed some of these allegations, revealing in an interview that he once overheard Diddy plotting to pimp the girls out to his friends. Deal explained how he heard Diddy, in a studio session, openly talk about getting the girls intoxicated and then offering them to his male associates. Deal was so disturbed by what he heard that he walked out of the room, disgusted by the whole situation. The craziest part of all this? Right before Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy became public, he tried to silence the Danity Kane girls by offering them a deal: sign an NDA in exchange for the publishing rights to their music. This was music they had helped create, but that Diddy had held onto for years, depriving them of any real financial benefit. According to Aubrey, Diddy's team sent the NDA proposal to all the artists under Bad Boy, not just Danity Kane. In exchange for keeping quiet about his alleged mistreatment, the artists would get their publishing rights back. Diddy was aware that Cassie's lawsuit could open the floodgates for more women to come forward with their stories, so he wanted to cover his tracks by silencing them before the lawsuit hit. Aubrey, however, was not about to let Diddy get away with this. Sensing something was about to go down, she warned her fellow group members not to sign the NDA. She knew that by signing, they'd be giving up any chance of holding Diddy accountable for his actions. This wasn't just speculation on Aubrey's part. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, confirmed that Danity Kane was among the few who refused to sign the NDA. According to Deal, many other bad boy artists signed the agreement, effectively giving up their right to ever speak out against Diddy in exchange for their music royalties. But thanks to Aubrey's leadership, Danity Kane held out. Dawn Richards took things a step further by filing a lawsuit that outlines the abuse she endured while working under Diddy. In her lawsuit, Dawn accuses Diddy of sexual assault, verbal abuse, and subjecting her to extreme working conditions. According to Dawn, the girls were often forced to rehearse for 48 hours straight, with little to no food or rest. The physical and mental toll was so severe that Dawn developed health issues, including anemia and joint problems. One of the most shocking parts of Dawn's lawsuit is her allegation that Diddy would frequently enter her dressing room without warning and touch her inappropriately. He would also make her strip down to her underwear during rehearsals and would smack her on the butt as if it were no big deal. According to Dawn, Diddy would conduct meetings in his underwear, creating an uncomfortable and unprofessional environment. When Dawn rejected his advances, Diddy would retaliate by excluding her from performances and songs. But it wasn't just Dawn who suffered. She claims she witnessed Diddy physically abuse Cassie on several occasions, including one incident where Diddy threw a pan at Cassie for not cooking his eggs correctly. When Dawn tried to step in, Diddy silenced her by threatening her life. As more details of Diddy's past actions come to light, it's clear that he was trying to keep a lid on things. Aubrey's decision to reject the NDA and warn her bandmates was pivotal. Had the girls signed, they would have been unable to tell their story or seek justice. This is why Aubrey encouraged them to wait and see what would happen. And she was right. Cassie's lawsuit blew the whole thing wide open. Aubrey has made it clear that she's not going to let Diddy get away with his actions, and Dawn's lawsuit only adds to the mounting pressure on him. With multiple women coming forward with their stories, Diddy's carefully crafted public image is beginning to crumble. Aubrey and Dawn's brave decision to speak out could lead to a major reckoning for Diddy. As more victims share their stories, it becomes harder for him to deny the allegations. And with Cassie's lawsuit already setting a precedent, it seems that Diddy's time of dodging accountability may be coming to an end. For years, Diddy has relied on NDAs and intimidation to keep his victims quiet, but the tide is finally turning. Aubrey, Dawn, and others are no longer willing to stay silent, and the world is listening. How this will end for Diddy remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure: Aubrey and Dawn won't stop until the truth is fully exposed.